Each of the underground explosions, some as deep as 5,000 feet, vaporized a large chamber, leaving a cavity filled with radioactive rubble. About a third of the tests were conducted directly in aquifers, and others were hundreds or thousands of feet above the water table. When testing ended in 1992, the Energy Department estimated that more than 300 million curies of radiation remained, making the site one of the most radioactively contaminated places in the United States. In the worst affected zones, radioactivity in the tainted water reaches millions of picocuries per liter. The federal standard for drinking water is 20 picocuries per liter. Although radiation levels in the water have declined over time, the longer-lived isotopes will continue to pose risks for tens of thousands of years. The Energy Department has 48 monitoring wells at the site and recently began drilling 9 deep wells. Because the contaminated water poses no immediate health threat, the department has ranked Nevada as a low priority for cleaning up major nuclear weapons sites, and it operates far fewer wells than at most other contaminated sites. From 1986 through 1994, 2 years after the United States put a hold on full-scale nuclear weapons testing, 536 demonstrations were held at the Nevada test site involving 37,488 participants and 15,740 arrests, according to government records. American Peace Test, APT, and Nevada Desert Experience, NTE, held most of these. In March 1988, APT held an event where more than 8,000 people attended a 10-day action to reclaim the test site, where nearly 3,000 people were arrested with more than 1,200 in one day. This set a record for most civil disobedience arrests in a single protest. American Peace Test was collectively run by a group of individuals residing in Las Vegas, but leadership for the group was national. It originated with a small group of people who were active in the National Nuclear Weapons Freeze. APT was a breakaway organization beginning in 1986, with first public events held in 1987. In the years that followed 1994, Shanghai Network, in cooperation with Nevada Desert Experience and Corbin Army, continued the protests of the governments, continued nuclear weapons work, and also staged efforts to stop a repository for highly radioactive waste adjacent to the test site at Yucca Mountain, 100 miles, 160 kilometers, northwest of Las Vegas. The test site offers monthly public tours, often fully booked months in advance. Visitors are not allowed to bring in cameras, binoculars, cell phones, or pick up rocks for souvenirs. While there are no longer any explosive tests of nuclear weapons at the site, there is still some critical testing used to determine the viability of the United States' aging nuclear arsenal. Additionally, the site is the location of the Area 5 Radioactive Waste Management Complex, which sorts and stores low-level radioactive waste that is not transuranic and has a half-life of no greater than 20 years. Bechtel ran this complex until 2006. Several other companies won the latest bid for the contract. They then formed a new company called National Security Technologies. The new company has AECOM as part of the team. AECOM, known earlier as Olms and Narver, held the Nevada test site contract for many years before Bechtel had it. Located at the ground zero for the Operation Teapot nuclear test is the Transportation Incident Exercise Site, which replicates multiple terrorist radiological incidents with train, plane, automobile, truck, and helicopter props. The town of Mercury, Nevada, is located on the grounds of the NTS, and at one time housed contingents from Los Alamos National Laboratory, Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, and Sandia National Laboratories. Area 51 is north of NTS, and the proposed high-level nuclear waste storage facility at Yucca Mountain is at the southwest corner. The BREN Tower, a 1,527 feet, 465 mi tower, is located in the NTS at Jackass Flats. A 1979 study reported in the New England Journal of Medicine concluded that a significant excess of leukemia deaths occurred in children up to 14 years of age living in Utah between 1959 and 1967. This excess was concentrated in the children born between 1951 and 1958 and was most pronounced in those residing in counties receiving high fallout. In 1982, a lawsuit brought by nearly 1,200 people accused the government of negligence in atomic and/or nuclear weapons testing at the Nevada test site in the 1950s, which they said had caused leukemia and other cancers. Dr. Carl Z. Morgan testified that radiation protection measures in the tests were substandard. In a report by the National Cancer Institute, released in 1997, it was determined that 90 atmospheric tests at the Nevada test site, NTS, deposited high levels of radioactive iodine-131, 5.5 exabecquerels, across a large portion of the United States, especially in the years 1952, 1953, 1955, and 1957, doses large enough, they determined, to produce 10,000 to 75,000 cases of thyroid cancer. The Radiation Exposure Compensation Act of 1990 allowed for people living downwind of NTS for at least 2 years, in particular Nevada, Arizona or Utah counties, between January 21, 1951, October 31, 1958 or June 30, 1962, July 31, 1962, and suffering from certain cancers or other serious illnesses deemed to have been caused by fallout exposure to receive compensation of $50,000. By January 2006, over 10,500 claims had been approved and around 3,000 denied, for a total amount of over $5.125 million in compensation dispensed to downwinders. Additionally, the Energy Employees Occupational Illness Compensation Program Act of 2000 provides compensation and medical benefits for nuclear weapons workers who may have developed certain work-related illnesses. Uranium miners, mill workers, and ore transporters are also eligible for $100,000 compassionate payment under the Radiation Exposure Compensation Program, while $75,000 is the fixed payment amount for workers who were participants in the above-ground nuclear weapons tests. Thank you for listening to wikEbooks on YouTube. Please rate and share the good stuff. Thanks.